Hey guys, Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO. We are getting ready to go into part 2 of my interview with the famous, the wild and crazy brother from another mother, Jef Weisberg. Jef, as you guys know from part 1, has moved over to a phenomenal company, over 35 years of history, powerful company, changing people's lives without the hype, doing stuff that's amazing. Their leaders don't go try to get on a leaders board somewhere. They have meetings, top level brain trust meetings with each other leaders that you've never heard in other companies, because true leaders never brag about their money, never show off all of their lifestyle. They're out there helping others change their lives. Listen to part 2 of this interview with Jef Weisberg. You were with New Vision. You made the transition over to Vima. You were cranking that out. But I think sometimes what people don't understand is what happens to get a person where they are. And you touched on this a minute ago. You got married, you had a son. But from there to here, you also had a second son, but also got divorced and became a single dad, full-time single dad. Mm-hmm. How did that affect your business? Did you allow that to become, at any time, an excuse, I can't build my business, or was that a motivator to help you even build harder?
Well, I've been in network marketing a long time, except for from 85 to 91, about 28 years. So had companies, built distributorships, was doing consulting at the same time, and became a single dad. They were 4.5 and 6. And wow. Thank God I was in network marketing, was able to work from home, and had to obviously learn a few things about time management and delegation and things. But because of this industry, I was able to, work in their classes, me and the moms, and coach 26 of their different sports teams all the way up to high school. Wow. Travel with them. They've been to a lot of countries and states and places around the world, and build a lifestyle. And, like I said earlier, Troy, what got me going was not the money, it was the lifestyle. Because there's plenty of ways you can make money, but are you going to enjoy life and have the time freedom?
Absolutely.
And so, I've been able to grow up with my sons. It's kind of like a frat house. Now they're junior and senior, and the next 20 months, not that I'm counting, but they're both going to be out of the house.
Mine are the next 18 years. Okay, I kind of spread mine apart. So I'm counting with you. This is great.
And but it's great. They love the business. That's all they know. Obviously, I have a lot of friends that are top distributors in other companies, so they've had an opportunity to meet a lot of people and see the big lifestyle. And that's really what they like to do when they get out of college. And with Vima, we had a lot of these young people having some great success, so they had an opportunity to meet these guys that are 4, 5, 6, 8 years older than them. Sure. And see that. So they see an old guy like me, and then they also see the younger generation doing it, and it's made a big impact on them.
I can imagine. And I love doing this because I get to edit, and I love the edit part. All right, so we talked about your boys a little bit, about being a single dad. But when you're a single dad and you're traveling all over the world and you're building these big organizations, every now and then, fate steps in. And when you least expect it, you periodically can find the love of your life. So, and you've shared this story with me. I've seen, you can see when you guys have pictures, there's a connection. Share a little bit about this little lady of yours.
We met almost a year ago in Colombia. I was going back and forth to Colombia as we opened with Vima, as well as Mexico, probably every 4, 5, 6 weeks. And I went in to do a meeting, and I saw her in the room, and I don't know if I believe in love at first sight, but I saw this girl, and it was unbelievable. And she really didn't have an interest in me, but we started talking, and it was kind of funny because I had a long distance relationship, wasn't going to do that again. She had, we laugh about that now, she had, had a relationship with a gringo, an American. She said that was never going to happen. She had a long distance relationship, that was never going to happen. Nobody was expecting it, and fate from God, or the stars aligned or whatever. And she's unbelievable. She's very successful in her own right. She's in network marketing. We met through Vima.
Well, and she's successful inside and outside of the network marketing community, right? Okay.
She's a real estate investor. She got several businesses. She lived in America, as an example, for 7, 8 years. Her son was very young and involved in Vima, and now is doing very well. Yeah. So it's kind of exciting now because, I'm working with her with a different company, and her son in Latin America. doing the other things that we're doing here in the United States and Europe, and we're kind of working as a team, and it's really the first time in my career that I've really built with somebody, not building on my own, who's into the business as much as I am.
It's amazing, because when I see the pictures of you guys, she looks like a Latin princess. I mean, she's just drop dead gorgeous. And then I even asked my wife, I said, "Honey, you think she's blind?" Because she's like, she's with Jef, you know? I mean, and she laughed. But I mean, you guys look, you can tell that there's a connection, there's a love, and to be able to build that way, you know, because so many times I think in our business, we see from a distance power couples and stuff like that. But you guys, because your backgrounds were separate coming in, and now you've built that's, I can hardly wait to see what the future is with where you guys are at now, because I've seen you build for so many years by yourself. To have that little synergy on the side, I think is going to be fun. But I want to touch on something, because I remember August 24th. I remember the texts I was getting, the phone calls I was getting. It was a shock to everybody. You know, you guys are coming off a great weekend. You are very, very close with BK. What went through your mind when you got that phone call?
It was crazy. Nobody expected it. Him and I were in Latin America probably within a month earlier. We were gearing up to do some more events and things there. We had a lot of momentum all over. Things were great. He was doing all kinds of things for expansion. He's one of the best CEOs you're ever going to meet. And I'm not just saying that as a CEO, but we're buddies. Again, I go back 15 and a half years with him. This whole situation, I think, was convoluted, and I think it was kind of manufactured. I think when the dust settles, people will realize that. But it happened, and it kind of changed the dynamics of everything. And when that happens, you're not ready for it.
Sure.
At the beginning, it's anger. You're upset. You're wondering what's going to happen, and in a matter of hours, your business of 15 and a half years, poof, gone.
Gone. Yeah. Now you, unlike some, within hours, vultures, good-meaning friends, company owners. Everybody was honing in on what's going to happen to the leaders. Where are the leaders going to go? You took your time. You didn't jump at the first deal. You didn't, push all your leaders to go make a deal with you. Matter of fact, I watched you kind of help just listen and guide. Why were you able to take your time versus having to jump like some people did?
I think looking back now, it was good and it was bad. Mm-hmm. It was good that I didn't make a decision on emotion, but it was bad because a lot of people started going places.
True.
And I understand people have to take care of their family. So international distributors were going into different deals. U.S. distributors were going into different deals. Some people didn't even wait till the court hearing. There were people, whether they made $500 a month or $50,000 a month, within days or weeks were already looking.
Oh, yeah.
I got text messages and Facebook messages and stuff from people that I didn't even know, but they're quote unquote your Facebook friends.
I know, we got a lot of friends, don't we? Yeah.
Your LinkedIn friends and your Twitter friends. And then I got, things from people that I have a lot of friends, obviously 28 years in the business.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people, so I started reaching out. I talked to Larry Thompson, one of my mentors over 30 years, and a lot of 7-figure earners in companies. And I looked and met and flew to a lot of places. And I had a lot of deals. Not to sound like I'm a big shot, but I had a lot of offers corporately, in the field, consulting, deals, power legs, all that kind of stuff. And I sat with my dad and I said, what do you think I should do? And because he was very successful, like I said, and retired early. And
Absolutely.
He said, well, you shouldn't do it out of emotion. If a person has to do it out of emotion because they got to pay the rent the next day, it's understandable, but you could sit back and wait a while and do it out of logic. And he said, you were with one company and for 15 and a half years with the owner, you may not find that again, but what do you want to do? Yeah. You're not a kid anymore. And he said, longevity is important to you, right? I said, right. He said, so you might want to sit back and find something that you believe will give you another 15 years. So I started talking to a lot of friends and everything, and finally decided that was important, and I had some criteria that I was looking at. One was product. Is it a solid, legitimate product? Number 2 is the leadership of the company. Good, solid leadership. Number 3 is the leadership in the field. People that have built something long-term, not deal to deal to deal. Number 4 was also, is there an international possibility? And then number 5 was a system. Do they have any systems to build? Because now with the internet and all this technology, old school, what I did in the old days, like a lot of us, is great, and concepts stay constant, techniques are going to change, but now all these new things are happening. So internet and technology, and I saw what happened even in Vima with this young,
Oh man,
Gen
bar
X,
none, yeah.
and how they condensed time and did in 90 days what we used to do in a year.
Yeah.
Not because they were smarter, because I was a young guy at 19 too, but we didn't have any of this.
Right.
So as great as the internet has helped us, it's also hurt our industry.
That's true.
And so I saw those different criteria after looking around and found something that a little unconventional. But again, I wasn't looking for a check for 2 or 3 or 4 years. I was looking for a check for 10 or 20 years.
Okay. Let's look at something here. 2 things come to mind. You just gave me your criteria. Not once did you talk about comp plan, leadership, product, systems, international. Why are those more important to you than specifically the type of comp plan that was there?
Well, because you can take any comp plan out there. You pick the comp plan, I can tell you people making 6 and 7 figures at it.
Okay, fair enough.
And all different comp plans are working. I think if you focus more on your mission than you do on the money, and you focus more on building a business and getting a customer base, you're going to make money. Companies wouldn't be in business 5, 10, 20 years if nobody made money. So the comp plans are important, but to sit here and say our comp plan's better, I love when people call you, hey Jeff, man, our comp plan pays the most in the industry. Our comp plan's the greatest.
And then you say explain it, nobody knows how.
Right.
So yeah.
And simplicity and duplication, it's not what works, it's what duplicates.
Right.
And so, I think comp plans are important, but Amway doesn't pay too much in their comp plan, and they've been around a long time.
And still breaking 6-figure earners.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Now the second thing here, and it just triggered something. You've got longevity just like I do in this, and we have transitioned, especially at the turn of the century, from just being totally offline to blending that online. And we worked together in those early years with that. How did you do that, and how important is that in a company, especially the one you're going to? And we'll share a little bit where he's going in a minute, but how important is that? Because the company you're going to really is a more traditional way, or traditional foundation, I guess we'd say, of building. How does that play into that decision making that you were looking at?
Well, I think now with the situation happening with Vima and the FTC and everything, I think customers is going to be the thing they're going to focus on.
Sure.
That was one of the issues they tried to say we didn't have.
Agree.
Logistically, let's call it. Even though they might have been customers, the title wasn't there. But I believe that's going to be the wave of the future. And if you want to build a long-term business, you got to have a product, if this is your product, that's going to last. That you're not going to buy once, but you're going to buy over and over.
Correct.
Okay, raving fans. And so I looked at something where the product would work, number one, and number two, people would continue to stay on the product.
Okay.
And I believe if you focus on the product, okay, and if it works and people get results and you've got hundreds of thousands of customers, you're going to get a 5, 10, 15-year run.
Makes sense.
If it's all business built and it's builder packs and it's front end load and it's all that, then yeah, you can make some money here. But once that stops, what's the consistency?
Right.
And we talk, everybody in network marketing says work hard for 2, 3 years, residual income. Residual income's customers. Get thousands of customers, you have a residual income.
And you can only get that if the product is actually a viable product. Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's a lot of great products out there. There's a lot of great services out there. I believe you got to believe in the product. You got to have a personal story, like I said, I did with Herbalife earlier. Because if you have a personal story, it's not really what you say, it's how you feel about what you say. It's easy to talk about it.
Sure it is. Sure.
And people will use the product once, but if it doesn't work, they won't use it twice or 3 times or 5 times.
That makes total sense. Wow. Now, part 2 shows you that there is no excuse whatsoever for you not to reach for your dreams, to fulfill your purpose. Jef didn't let his personal life get in the way. He didn't let the fact that he became a single dad raising 2 sons in basically middle school all the way through high school. He didn't let the fact that he wasn't in a long-term personal relationship get in the way. He knew he had something to accomplish and he did it. But you're going to really be blown away when you listen to part 3 of Jef Weisberg's story and where he is today. Why he went back home to a company that he knows will be there because it's been around for over 35 years. It's going to be amazing. Stay tuned. Live life like it's an epic adventure. Stay dangerous, stay strong, and if you're in network marketing, act like it.